It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, pleasure to you too, mate.
What are you doing? We can all pull about a little bit. If you want to pull about, have a little pull and a push.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of Boxtalk. It's mythical matchup time again. Got a big shout out to the big man, Dr. Woo Doc, who gave us this mythical matchup, and it's a UK fan favourite. It is the hitman, Ricky Hatton, versus the hitter, Junior Witter. Ade, 10 minutes, let's do this.
Firstly, it's one of those mythical, I think this is unlike any other mythical matchup we've done, in the sense that it's a mythical matchup that could have and should have happened. The other ones have been different eras, 70s, 80s, whatever, there's been so many years. This is one that should have happened. Similarities to Amir Khan, Kell Brook.
Yep.
It's just that one of them has gone to America and doesn't really need the local boy from up north. And it's a shame it didn't happen. That's where I'm going to start. Go on.
First thing I'll say about this fight is that a lot of people seem to think that Ricky Hatton ducked Junior Witter. And people say, no, he should have fought him, he had a chance to fight him. But I disagree with that persona when it wants to happen a bit straight away. When Ricky Hatton fought Costa Zoo back in 2005, Ricky Hatton was already asking for the bigger fights.
Yeah.
Costa Zoo was already number 2, number 3, Costa number 1, pound for pound in the world, plus the number 1 in the division. Also, at that same time, Ricky was asking for the Floyd Mayweathers of the world. So he was already on that pedestal. At that time, Junior Witter was not even close to where he was at that time. Junior Witter, I think, won his title around the same time or just after the Costa Zoo fight. So when Ricky Hatton was already planning to go to America to establish his name, which he did by fighting the likes of Collazo, Urango,
Castillo.
Again, all current world champions at the time, all former world champions in Castillo. Junior Witter was still stuck over here. Again, filling at smaller shows, not on the marquee. He was a marquee fighter, but he weren't making marquee events.
Oh, there's no two ways about it.
That's the difference. Why I do think Ricky Hatton had a chance to choose him, but I don't think Ricky Hatton ducked him because they were on different projectiles at that moment in time.
See, for me, you look at a fight, and again, you mentioned that Ricky Hatton was already kind of gone. I feel like that's why I said it's similar to Kell Brook and Amir Khan. I think their heat, because they're around the same age, well, I think Junior Witter is maybe 2-3 years older. So their heat's been stemmed probably since these guys were 17, 18, where they've known about each other, they're in the same weight class, and they know we're going to meet. And I think it got to a stage where Ricky Hatton hadn't won the belt from Costa Zoo, and Junior Witter hadn't won his WBC title. Yeah. So there was almost at a time, I think Junior Witter was asking for the fight, when they both hadn't yet blown. Yeah. Ricky Hatton had always done well in Manchester, selling at arenas, but they hadn't yet blown to the extent where, obviously, Ricky Hatton went in a few years' time. My thing is, whenever there's a domestic chance, a domestic fight could happen, and Junior Witter was completely knocking that door down 100 times and not getting any answers. And look, Junior Witter's style is awful. Yeah. It's an awful style. It's a style that you probably don't want to fight if you don't have to fight. And that's what made me feel Ricky Hatton's, not Ricky Hatton, Ricky Hatton's team was ducking him.
I believe strongly that Ricky Hatton's team were well aware of the risk Junior Witter provides. Yeah. And they know that, guess what? Yes, we could win this fight, but it's a tough fight for us because of this and that. Yeah. And when you look at the guys like Musa, who Hatton beat for a belt, Musa went with the best technical boxer out there. Yeah. Did knock out Vivian Harris with a sweeping low shot.
I'm not sure how he did it.
Don't know how he done it.
He doesn't know how he did it.
But he was not really a technically savvy guy, just awkward. So you can see what I'm trying to say, where it's easier to pick that type of guy than either Witter, but you're looking at marketing, you're looking at money, and you're looking at what route it puts you in.
Okay.
One question. When we talked before about people taking certain routes like the IBF route, the WBC route, you see a list of fighters that build you to go for that certain title. Yeah. To me, Ricky Hatton chose the type of fights that got him US marketing, where like I said, the knockout from Musa and Vivian Harris was a televised fight in America for a world title, with Harris being billed as a Mayweather opponent. He beat that guy. He went over and beat Collazo, who was a 1-4 champ. It was setting things up for the bigger picture.
Yeah, but I think time has told us that sometimes when a big British fight is available, it does sell. There's no two ways about it. It does sell. I think big British fights have always sold. There's something about the way the British viewers get a lot better than what they do in America. The British viewers get together and watch a big British fight. We've had a history with Eubank and Ben. We've seen it now with Froch and Groves. We're probably going to see it with Amir Khan and Brook. Even crappy ones like Audrey Harris and David Hay. Yeah. There's something about a big British fight that I think can sell. Look, when we do mythical matches, we always talk about them at their best. Ricky Hatton's best, obviously.
Costa Zoo.
Yeah,
Costa Zoo. He
was the man.
That was the best Ricky Hatton. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, Costa was not maybe the champ or had a belt. He was legitimately the champ of the division, pound for pound entrant, and people would argue, depending on your love of boxing, if it was number 1, if it was number 2, or if it was number 3. But that tells you how real Costa was.
Does it not take any gloss off the fact that Costa retired after that fight? I mean, it was a fight. It wasn't a battering. I mean, he didn't even get knocked down.
No, I think it was more of a psychological, mental beatdown.
Like, I can't beat this guy somehow.
In a sense, whereas
how old was Costa?
Costa was getting on a little bit.
He was getting on a bit. I'm not taking shots at Ricky Hatton, but yeah.
And to be fair, his fight before that, I think, was the Sean Mitchell fight.
Yeah.
And Sean Mitchell was again on the slide as well. But what I'll say about Costa is that Costa is a tough guy. He's got the punching power, got the boxing ability, got great technique. He'll walk you down and beat it out of you. He can do it to Ricky Hatton.
Ricky Hatton done that to him.
Exactly. So, when that's like a boxer getting outboxed. Yeah. You feel hurt, you feel broken, you feel humbled. And I think Ricky Hatton humbled him. Especially when I think Costa low-blowed him, then Ricky low-blowed him 10 times worse. It was like, if you play with me, I'm going to play with you. And I think because of that, they got kind of mutual respect for each other. But that's why I think Costa retired overall. Best Junior Witter?
Best Junior Witter... It's probably Kotelnik / DeMarcus Cooley. 2 fighters that the dumb boxer fan don't give no credit to, but 2 boxers that legitimate boxing fans know are serious boxers.
I prefer the Kotelnik win personally because I respect Kotelnik's boxing
was
style.
Unbeaten at the time.
I was unbeaten, but his boxing style, the way he boxes, the way he moves, this guy was very, very avoided. Yeah. And no one really wanted to go over there and put their hands on him. Yeah. I mean, it was only after Witter beat him and then 2-3 years later, the other fighters wanted to fight Kotelnik. Yeah.
And even then, they got dodgy decisions against him.
Kotelnik is a serious fighter, a solid fighter. A fighter that, if he fought Ricky Hatton in his prime, could give Hatton serious problems based on his solid boxing style.
That's why I don't think Junior Witter gets a lot of credit, because yes, we know he lost to the likes of, gonna be probably Hall of Famers-ish in terms of Devin Alexander, Zab Judah, and Timothy Bradley. Kotelnik, out of all those, is probably technically one of the best boxers out of all of those. Yeah. He was able to beat, technically, at the time, an unbeaten, very avoided good boxer.
Yeah. But then here's the thing about it, is that as much as Junior Witter had good oppositions, and you talk about who he lost to and who he fought, look who Ricky Hatton lost to. He lost to Mayweather and to Manny Pacquiao. Mostly the best pure boxer in boxing at the time, and a Hall of Famer. And you're looking at mostly the best pure puncher at the time. I mean,
the problem with those losses,
you're looking at his losses are losses against great fighters.
No, there's but then I could fight Floyd Mayweather and lose. The problem about his losses for me was against the Floyd Mayweather. I think it was 1 round competitive. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao was a blowout that you're never going to see like again. Especially when 2 guys. Remember, the Manny Pacquiao fight was worse at the time because those guys were talking about whoever wins this fight will be pound for pound because and Floyd Mayweather wasn't around at the time. Pound for pound number 1. I have my reservations about that fight, but regardless of that, he got blown out by a guy that was considered equal with him and big. Remember, before the fight, we thought that Hatton would beat him.
But in my opinion, though, that era of Pacquiao was the best Pacquiao. That was the same Pacquiao that beat Miguel Cotto. That was the best Pacquiao we had. No, that is the best Pacquiao I've ever seen.
I agree with that. But then if you look at what the other so-called greats done against Manny Pacquiao, Mosley points. Yes, he didn't really strive. Cotto, 11th round stoppage. Do you know what I mean? Ricky Hatton, blown out in 3 rounds. Look, I don't want to take anything away from Ricky Hatton, but when we put him up against the best, he's been knocked out by both of them. Obviously, one with the use of a turnbuckle, which is WWE, but he's been knocked out by both of them.
Mayweather knocked out Hatton by outboxing him and out-tricking him, out-slicking him, where he made him walk into the turnbuckle with that sidestep, that check hook, he called it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
He set
it showed levels to me. It showed levels.
But also what Mayweather done, you look in that fight, I think it was from around round 7, round 8, Mayweather had him walking onto 1-2s constantly. Because when Hatton squared up, he kept popping and Hatton was slowly breaking down from that fight. When he actually got knocked out, he actually walked into the shots, but actually knocked him out because he was literally just wailing forward, swinging in. It's argumentative how you say if you think Hatton's losses were good or bad for his career. I just think that when you lose that quality of opponent, there should be no shame.
For me, if I were to put and very quickly before the bit, if I was to put Junior Witter against those opponents. I don't expect him to fare any better, but I don't expect him to fare any worse as well. I don't expect him to go more than 3 or 4 rounds with Pacquiao at the time, because Pacquiao was a war, but although he could be awkward to Pacquiao, and I don't expect him to go past 8 or 9 for Mayweather. I don't think he would. I think he would kind of fare that way. But I guess the question is, would Ricky Hatton beat the likes of Devin Alexander, Zab Judah and Timothy Bradley.
Yes, he would at that time.
Yeah.
At that time, those guys were good names, but they were established themselves. They weren't current champions or experienced fighters the way they are now. So back in 2000,
but he wouldn't beat Zab.
8.
He would not beat Zab Judah.
No, the Zab Judah of that era was fickle. He could lose to Boulder Man.
Yeah.
But then he could fight Cottle for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
So you never really know.
Yeah.
Let's call it. Who wins this mythical matchup?
Junior Witter. Junior Witter for me wins this mythical matchup, and it's more due to the Kotelnik and DeMarcus Corley win. DeMarcus Corley is as tough as you get, and he's not so much a come forward fighter, but he definitely can show that, and he's shown that. Floyd Mayweather's done many interviews before. What was your toughest fighter, and who was the hardest puncher you ever fought? And his name, he mentions a few names, but a name that he always seems to mention is DeMarcus Corley. Yeah. Kotelnik caused trouble for a lot of people at 140 and 147 as well. Fairly avoided, and he outboxed him. He outboxed what I would consider one of the best technically boxers of the 140, 147 division. That shows me that Ricky Hatton will definitely rush him. Ricky Hatton will do that. But I think there's something about the awkward style of his that will cause Ricky Hatton frustration as well. I expect Ricky Hatton to win the first few rounds, and then I expect the awkward style and frustration to come through. I expect him to win by points.
Good call. I'm going the opposite side. I'm going Ricky Hatton. Here's the thing with Junior Witter. As much as I like Junior Witter, there's two versions of Junior Witter. The one that doesn't like to punch, and the one that goes with the counter punch and then knocks you out. Yeah. Junior was never a puncher in his career. He became a puncher when he sat down on his feet and set you up. I don't think he'll get to set up Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton had that work rate, that body shot, those body shots, and will charge you 100 miles per hour. The amount of punches Ricky Hatton throws to someone like Junior Witter will have problems keeping it off him. Junior will be backpedaling, and trying to walk Hatton onto shots. Hatton never really showed a bad chin in his career, but he did get stopped. I don't think Junior Witter is as good as a boxer or as big as a puncher as a Manny Pacquiao. And I think that with that work rate, with that aggression, he will wear him down, and literally stop Junior Witter into a standstill. Whereas, yes, it'll be a good fight, but I think after 7, 8 rounds, that's where Hatton will take the fight with that tremendous stamina. If a Hall of Famer like Kosciuszko couldn't stop him, I don't think Junior Witter could.
Okay, look, there you go, guys. Another mythical matchup. This is one that should have happened. And it's a mythical matchup. It's a bit of a different one because it could have happened as well, unlike the rest of them. But there you go. I go Junior Witter. He goes Ricky Hatton. Who do you go? Tell us why. Leave your comments below. Email us at
boxtalk@hotmail.co.uk and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at boxtalkuk.
Also, guys, don't forget to subscribe and also check out ringnews24.com for our latest news, views, and video blogs. Thanks a lot.